Hi friends, Father Frank Pavone here, National Director of Priests for Life. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me this afternoon. I'm speaking to you from Baltimore. I'm here this week, as you may already know, for the meeting of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. All the bishops of the United States come together twice a year, and I always come to these meetings in behalf of Priests for Life. And I just wanted to report to you how well this meeting is going. Just this afternoon, just a couple hours ago, we had our lunch meeting with the bishops who advise our ministry and other friendly bishops, and we had a good conversation with them over lunch in which I updated them about a number of things. Obviously, we talked about the election, and we analyzed for them specifically on the federal and state level how the elections help the pro-life cause, and they help it immensely. Some people have been asking me, well, what is Mr. Trump going to do for the pro-life movement? Well, he has already done the biggest thing, which is that he prevented Hillary Clinton from being our next president, and the Democratic Party from bringing its baby-killing ideologies into public office. That's the greatest thing anybody can do at this point for the pro-life movement. He's already accomplished that. But we do look forward to many, many very important things taking place, and as you know, we're helping to make those things happen and asking you to be involved in making those things happen. But in any case, we updated them about all that. We went through a litany of things that Priests for Life did during the election, and when I say Priests for Life did it, you did it with us. You helped us to succeed. Things like the prayer campaign and distributing the party comparison piece and all those activities with which you're very familiar if you follow our work. Then we also talked about the healing ministries that we are engaged in. Rachel's Vineyard, the largest post-abortion healing ministry in the world, operating under the administrative umbrella of Priests for Life. Also the Silent No More awareness campaign, joint project of Priests for Life and Anglicans for Life. We updated the bishops about that and the Healing the Shockwaves of Abortion initiative that we have, where we are looking at the wounds that abortion causes not only from mom and dad, but what about the siblings, the grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, the abortionists themselves. All of these people are wounded deeply by the violence, ongoing violence of abortion. I also shared with the bishops something I want to share with you, just in case you don't already have your copy. It's time to get it. This book called Proclaiming the Message of Life. This is a book that I wrote that was published this past spring by Franciscan Media, Servant Books. It's a kind of a heavy book, but it's called Proclaiming the Message of Life. It's about preaching on abortion. Preaching on abortion by taking the readings that we hear in church every Sunday and giving comments on each Sunday's readings that will help the preacher to address the abortion issue in a way that is drawing from those readings. And also, obviously, if you're not a priest or a preacher, it's still helpful to reflect on those readings and see the connections they have to our pro-life commitment. Now, as you may know, all the Sunday readings are set up in a 3-year pattern. So year one, you'll hear a certain set of readings as you go through the course of the year. On Sundays, year two, it's a different set of readings. Year three, it's yet another set of readings. And so this book covers all the Sundays of all 3 years of the liturgical cycle. It's a profound meditation on the connections between Scripture and abortion and our duty to defend the children in the womb. So I offered this to the bishops, as some of them have already ordered the book for all the priests in their diocese, and that's something that we are very, very happy when that happens. A number of dioceses have done that, Lincoln, Nebraska, Miami, Florida, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and more to come. Now, also in this book is an overview about how we preach on abortion, and when we do, we speak, of course, we start with the alternatives to abortion and also with the forgiveness and healing that follow abortion. And when people hear this, they realize, oh, they're not against us, they're not judging us, they're on our side. And that's what's necessary for, of course, enabling them to hear the rest of the message. But order your copy of this book. ProclaimingTheMessageOfLife.com is the book's website. But I want to tell you one other thing about this book. It has an entire section in it that answers the most frequent question that we receive. And that is, why doesn't our priest speak more about abortion? Do you ever ask that question? Do you have people asking you that question? They're asking us that question all the time. Why don't we hear more about abortion from the pulpit? Because it's the biggest act of violence in our society. It claims the largest number of victims than anything: disease, war, capital punishment, poverty, AIDS. There's nothing that takes more life than abortion. So where are the voices thundering from the pulpit? And that's what people want to hear. And so what we've been doing for 2.5 decades is helping priests to overcome their fears and their hesitations about preaching on abortion. And somebody will then ask, well, what fears, what hesitations? And that's what's in the book. We go through all the fears and hesitations that we've come to know about over these decades of working with our brother priests, and we address them. And we talk about how to overcome them. And so this is helpful both for the priest himself to read, but also for you to read, so that when you're talking with your clergy, you can help them overcome that silence. So we help the priests in a positive spirit, and we help the bishops that we're meeting with today to deal with the same thing. So again, proclaimingthemessageoflife.com is where you can order this book. And if you order it from us at Priests for Life, I'm going to be happy to sign it, put a personal message for you or for the priest that you want to give the book to. In fact, all these copies are signed by me, and I'll be happy to add a personalization to whoever's going to use the book. But let me just dwell on this point a little bit longer, because you know what? Sometimes people are they're so upset by what priests who stand up and step out to end abortion are saying and doing, and yet I'd like to hear, where is the scandal, where is the concern about the ones who are silent? Because in the long view of history, and in the immediate view of so many of us as well, the silence is the scandal. Not the speaking up, not the acting up. The silence is the scandal. When we look back on this age where our streets are flowing with the innocent blood of these babies, when our landfills are filling up with their bodies, when the abortion industry is cutting the bodies up and selling them for profit, when politicians dare to run for public office on a platform of keeping baby killing legal, when we have a major political party in this country that dares to stand for the killing of babies, so corrupt is their conscience, where's the voice of the church? Do you think it's loud enough? Do you think it's strong enough? All I hear are people saying, my goodness, why don't we hear anything about this? That's the scandal. And history's going to look back and say, in an age where abortion was so rampant, where in God's name were God's shepherds? Where were they? I'm certainly not going to be responsible for answering that question, because I and so many of our clergy along with me are not for one moment going to be silent about the outrage and scandal of abortion. And I know that's why you support us. That's why you support our work at Priests for Life. And that's why we're here with the bishops this week. We're here at this meeting of the bishops, as we always are, to be a strength and encouragement for them. I'm having conversations with them here morning, noon, and night, and it will continue the rest of today and also into tomorrow when their meeting will conclude. So I send you my prayers and greetings here from the meeting of the United States Bishop, a loud and courageous voice for the children who cannot speak for themselves, those yet in their mother's wombs. So thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for all that you do. We'll be back with you tomorrow with some more reflections and some more updates. Meanwhile, let's keep each other in prayer. God bless you.